is effective out high or down low. Here he is out high. Holds, waits, fires, and scores! Matvei Michkov has his first goal at the Wells Fargo Center.
This is episode 125 of the Liberty Yell. I am your host, Chris Stumpo, alongside Derek Dunn. How do we feel? Jiricek.
We feel pretty good. We have revealed the new process. It started with Zegras, and now it continues with David Jiricek. What happens is I post about something, and then we wait 1.5 years, and then the Flyers do that very same something. So that's been a pretty fascinating revelation. Jiricek himself is
3 years behind you,
a fascinating player. He's basically David St. Louis of Elite Prospects did make a little bit of a comparison to the way he thinks about the game to Michkov of defensemen, where it's all aggression all the time. Like, he does not know how to make a conservative read to save his life. But some of those really aggressive reads, and a lot of those really aggressive reads, frankly, are really good and provide a lot of upside, a lot of big wins. And the other side of that is he has the skill to capitalize on that sort of thing. Like, I was talking about this last night when he gave up the second goal against Utah. Sanheim, one of the biggest points of frustration with Travis Sanheim, at least for me, is that he plays this aggressively. But even when he wins, like even when everything goes right and he gambles correctly, it's still Travis Sanheim with the puck in the offensive zone. So how dangerous is it really? The answer, not all that dangerous, honestly. Like, that's not even an insult to him. It's just limitation as a hockey player. Whereas with Jiricek, he's got a lot of skill. He's got a bomb of a shot. And he can make those plays in the offensive zone. So when he wins on his gambles, when he gets the puck in an advantageous situation, he's going to make something great happen.
And I think the Flyers needed to trade for somebody like this. Like, there's a kid in my hockey group chat, and he was like, why do we always seem to trade for offensive defensemen? I was like, because we don't have any offensive defensemen right now. Like, if anybody wants to call York an offensive defenseman, they're wrong. Sanheim is not an offensive defenseman. I mean, maybe Drysdale, you could maybe call an offensive defenseman, but even right now, he hasn't been the best power play quarterback in the world. But this is the first defenseman that we've had in a while that is just like an offensive guy first, defense and skating later. Isn't it funny how they always end up with somebody with skating issues? They love their players with skating issues. They have absolutely no qualms about trading for somebody with skating issues. I thought that was pretty funny. But 6'4" defenseman, right-handed, who has offensive upside, where you need to work with his defense. I think that's exactly the type of trade that they needed to make with the abundance of wings that they have. And I mean, I like Brink. I think Brink's a solid third-line player, but a pretty good trade if you ask me. Straight up, Jiricek for Brink. Jiricek's 22 years old. He's in year 4 of 4 of his deal with a $900,000 cap hit. And then Bobby is also in year 2 of 2. So RFA for RFA. But our guy's 2 years younger. So exactly the type of trade that they needed to make. I also don't, even though I like this trade, we have about 42 minutes left. I'm not in love with this trade deadline at all. Like, just good trade, solid trade. I need to see more. Like, how is Rizzo still here? Hopefully they're waiting till the very end.
It's one of the actual, like, good logistical things behind this whole running bit I have of Danny versus the allegations, and we're acting like it's a UFC fight. We can express the fact that Danny had a great moment and he won the round 10-9 and he beat the allegations for a minute, but we can still say you didn't win the fight yet. Like, we still need more than this.
Yeah, no, 100%.
There still needs to be more. And there hasn't been thus far. Rizzo still being on the team. Wow, I just did the Hartnell pronunciation. But Rizzo still being on the team is insane to me. I just don't understand it. Like, what are we asking for? Are we asking for, like, Mirka Helenius and a first from Buffalo?
Seriously though, I had the exact same thought today at work. It's like, do I blame them for starting a negotiation high? I mean, no, that's where all negotiations should start. But if they're actually telling teams, if you don't absolutely meet our price, he can stay because there's another year on the deal. This is a 30-year-old defenseman who cannot stay healthy. I understand you want to coop the best assets you possibly can, but let's not be stingy here. Let's not get overconfident just because he had a good Olympics and he's been pretty good the last couple of years. I think they're getting a little bit too cocky. I don't know if I'm reading into that a little bit too heavy. Like I said, we still have about 20 minutes left until the trade deadline, so I could sit here and talk shit and then a trade could go through. But for right now, it is kind of weird how they're dealing with this situation. But I know people are going to come up into the replies on Twitter and be like,
at the end of the GM? Day, is it really a bad thing if you trade Rizzo for a second and a third? Like, is that a horrific thing? To me, that sounds like pretty decent value. I'd like to have those assets. And for the Flyers, you guys have been telling me that you're going to need to hit on those later picks and you're going to need to find Braden points in the third round. Well, how are you going to find Braden points in the third round? I got an idea. Accumulate as many third round picks as possible. That makes sense, right?
They need to hit on something somewhere for sure. I mean, I don't know where the fuck they're going to get this center. We'll get into it later, but it is actually a good segue because I had posted that, and it does seem like this is becoming increasingly clear. The Flyers simply do not have the depth of prospects to keep both Michkov and Martone while trading for a number one center. We've seen that with Quinn Hughes. I know he's a defenseman, but he's the same caliber of player as a defenseman. So it's a valid example. We saw it with Quinn Hughes. Now we've seen it with Robert Thomas. Unfortunately, these teams look at people like Luchenko and Nesbitt and that motley crew as people who were not selected at 12th overall. They look at those guys and was like, all right, you selected them at 12th overall. We don't have a valuation of them as anywhere close to 12th overall. I don't know what the hell you were doing. But I'll tell you what interests me, Matvei Michkov. I'll tell you what interests me, Porter Martone. And then it's like, but we can't give you that. Well, then you can't get Robert Thomas, bitch. Bye. That's how these conversations are continuously going. It's like, no, I'm not giving up my 19 and 21-year-old, hopefully future stars for, 27-year-old, 28-year-old center who is in the middle of his prime right now, or maybe the back end of his prime. No, fuck that. But I absolutely 100% agree with what you're saying. There's definitely a problem with the prospect pool to where you cannot even come close to any type of trade. I mean, look at the Quinn Hughes trade. If it's not Michkov or Martone, you don't have anything that any kind of team values. And it's actually really sad because, like you said, these are two 12th overall picks in back-to-back years. They should probably be held in a higher regard around the league than they are. I think that's very telling. I thought it was a really good point. It's sad. It really is because I don't think our prospect pool is that good after Martone and Michkov, to be honest. I mean, I like Bonk. I think he's gotten better since, 2 years ago, me and you used to have our little qualms about him, but I think he's gotten better as a, not really a shock. I mean, a young defenseman developing. But other than that, it's like Bump, cool player. News on him. Bill Meltzer did say that Alex Bump will be making his NHL debut this weekend, so that's pretty exciting. But other than a couple of guys after Michkov and Martone, yeah, I mean, they're not needle movers. I think that's the word of the day. They're not needle movers for any other team, for any kind of asset. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a problem. I don't think we talk about it as much because I think a lot of people just they talk about the prospect pool, and it's usually just Martone, and that's all they talk about. I know Michkov really isn't a prospect anymore per se. I mean, you have
what people like to do is they like to talk about these players in a vacuum and be like, "Oh no, Jet Luchenko is actually good," and if you don't think so, you're just being negative. And it's hard to really argue against that, but what you have here is an opportunity to get an objective opinion. These other teams are coming in and they're telling you how good they think Jet Luchenko is. They're coming in and they're telling you how good they think Jack Nesbitt is. Unfortunately, the findings aren't positive. Like, it's that simple. And the only way you're going to overcome this, you pretty much have three options. One, part with either Michkov or Martone. Two,
not happening. Not for Robert Thomas. I'm sorry.
Well, for anybody, like you're going to have to. You have to just generally, not for Robert Thomas. Like just generally, you're going to have to either A, bite the bullet and do it. B, tank, or C, make about a dozen David Jiricek trades.
Yeah, kind of like Washington did a couple years ago.
Yep. Like the David Jiricek trade is a good blueprint. You just, if you're going to do it as a plan instead of tanking or instead of giving up either Michkov or Martone, you have to do it in volume because it's the odds aren't good enough that just one of these guys works out. You know, Jiricek could go wrong. Jiricek could end up being a third pair guy at best. Jiricek could end up being not even an NHLer. He could also work out much better than that. But the point is, whatever the odds are that Jiricek, let's just say, becomes a top pair guy for the sake of argument, let's assign him a 10% chance of being a top pair guy. Well, 10% isn't great. But if you get two more Jiriceks and they are the exact same probability, all of a sudden you have a 30% chance to have acquired a top pair defenseman. Now we're starting to cook. But you can't just say, well, I got David Jiricek, my work's done, clock out. No, you have to build up the probability here.
You know, I had my first thought when I saw the trade. You know how they traded for, because like him and Zegras are kind of in the same boat in terms of like where they are in development. Actually, I think Jiricek is it's a little bit different. Zegras is a little bit more proven, obviously, but both kind of not developmental, but like change of scenery guys. They traded for Jiricek, and I was joking around with my coworker. They're going to throw him at left wing and not play him in his natural position. It's like they traded for Zegras. We need centers. You're a left wing. We need right-handed defensemen. You're left wing now.
He's going to put him at right wing purely to avoid putting Michkov at right wing.
Justin said, I have a 30% chance of becoming a Ducks fan.
Only a 30% chance?
Can we talk about how fun of a team they are? I mean, that's what I wish the Flyers were.
Yeah, they're a ridiculously fun team. And by the way, where are they at in the standings? I'm pretty sure they're mid as hell if you go by the standings. But that doesn't matter because they're really fun. Because there is more to be said about hockey and your enjoyment of a hockey team than where they are in the standings.
Yeah, Derek, they're fifth in their conference, bro.
Well, the Western Conference is ass overall, so...
Oh no, let's see. They have 71 points. So they would be like between 9th and 10th in the East.
Okay. So wait, hold on. Let's go into the league standings. They are 14th in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They are just above average, which
34, 24, and 3.
Looking like, but point being. That would be 14th in the league would be nightmares for some Flyers fans. Like, oh my God, we're so mid. Oh my God, fire everybody. But it also, there's more to it than that. Because if we put 14th in the league, because Michkov had 97 points right now, and Trevor Zegras had 50 goals, and, you know, fun players were doing fun things all day, then I think everybody would feel a lot better about themselves. We talked about that ad nauseum, and the Ducks are such a great example of it.
We did. So you're telling me you don't want to watch a team scratch and claw their way to an 8th seed? You enjoy watching that?
It's like,
wow, you're a fake fan, dude.
16 shots in a 3-0 loss, chasing the game the whole way, and you muster 16 shots on goal. How the hell do you even do that?
I know. I was talking to my fucking dad today, and I mean, he was somebody who, like, he wasn't in love with the Talk It Higher, but like, he was cool with it. How the fuck does somebody like my dad turn on Talk It that quick? Like, I think I was talking about it with Zach, Flyers Clips. I've never seen I've never seen a fan base turn on a coach as quick as this fan base has. He was saying today, last game, and I think he was talking about the game last night. he said, I couldn't even watch it. I'm so tired of watching dump and chase hockey. And I'm like, that's his system, dude. Like, that's what we're going to be watching for as long as that he's here. Like, it doesn't matter. Maybe Michkov's on the right side with that new line with Barkey. I'm not confident that he's on the right side. I know Barkey's a left wing. Who's to say you don't move him the right way? Just to fucking spite Michkov, you know?
It sounds like a thing Tocchet would do. And I think as for how Tocchet got that, DeMarco just said Flyers aren't moving.
No.
Huge right hand by the allegation. Danny goes down. Danny's hurt. The allegations are pouring it on. Can they finish?
Bro, what the fuck, dude? Flyers, NHL news. Flyers not moving Rasmus Ristolainen per Anthony DeMarco. They did not get their price. That's what I mean. What I said in the beginning of the podcast, your price is probably too high. It's an injury-prone 30-year-old who has played well the last couple of years. They overvalue so many fucking players, dude. It's ridiculous. They do this every fucking year. They did it with Lawton for fucking 6 years, and they finally were like, yeah, okay, here. I mean, they do it every fucking year. It's so fucking annoying, man. Oh, my God. Why would you not, in your right mind, trade Ristolainen? It makes... I'm going to go Russ Joy on this bitch, bro. Don't start fucking singing clown songs or whatever the fuck Anthony was doing. What the fuck? Seriously. It makes absolutely no sense. Oh, they didn't meet our insane price of fucking a first-round pick and an A- prospect. I mean, get the fuck out of my face, man. Like you said, give me a second and a third and go let Bonk or Ginning play. Like, let me see some young guys in here because Ristolainen is not part of the fucking future. I promise you.
It's almost as bad as Fletcher. Actually, you know what? No, I will say it. It is worse than Fletcher not managing to trade JVR because JVR wasn't going to go for anything anyway. It was just the principle of the thing that, like, you couldn't even deal that. Whereas with Danny, it's like, well, okay, hold on. You could have gotten actual assets here. And you just what? You couldn't do it? You can't close? The allegations knocked you out?
It's so frustrating, man. Tanking Gritty, Danny can't even close the Fletcher trade app on his computer. It's so true, though, dude. Because, like, I like the Jiricek trade. I mean, I don't think it's anything to, like, get on your knees and start bowing down to this guy. I mean, it's not some creative... fucking like the Provorov trade that he made all those years ago. It's just you're telling me you traded Bobby Brink for a project defenseman, Deslauriers for a 2027 conditional 7th, and then you traded one of my favorite AHL players in Alexis Gendron. I'm going to butcher his last name. Gendy. I'm going to call him Gendy. What the fuck, man? I'm not in love with this trade deadline, brother.
No, not at all. Like what? Who did we get from the Bruins? Do you know? Because I don't. I don't remember their names. I don't feel the need to remember.
I got it right here. We traded Massimo, Rizzo, and Gendy for Brett Harrison and something Edward. His first name's not popping up. Jackson Edward.
Who is that guy?
Jackson Edward is a 22-year-old left-handed defenseman, 6'2", 200 pounds. Jonesy loves him. And Harrison Brett is a 22-year-old center / left wing, 6'3", 201. So two big guys. They traded two smaller guys too. They're getting bigger, Derek. They're getting bigger in the AHL.
Yeah, there we go. Now we know why it happened, and now we know why they can't trade Risto.
Josh said Danny can't close.
No, he can't. The allegations have finished this fight.
Kevin Kurse, per team source, Flyers.
We're doing a poll on the live pod. Did the allegations finish this fight? Does Danny make a decision?
Well, here's your answer. Kevin Kurse just tweeted out 19 seconds ago, your boy. Per team source, Flyers are done for the day.
All allegations have finished this fight. Danny taps out. The allegations have won by submission.
Unreal, dude. We like our team. They traded Bobby Brink and called it a day.
Oh my god. Well, nope. They also traded Gendron.
I'm talking NHL guys. NHL guys.
Fair,
I mean, I don't even count Deslauriers as a fucking. I mean that Oh my gosh, dude. I'm glad we're live for this.
Oh, I know.
I'm glad we're live.
It's actually a good thing that we had to put this off a couple of days.
I know. Technical difficulties are a pain in the fucking ass. I said I'm quoting Kevin's tweet right now with our link to this stream and be like, come scream with us. Oh man. And this is like, I don't think it's been a pretty boring trade deadline, hasn't it? No, like Corey Perry went for a 2028 second and you couldn't ship Rizzo. Like, what the fuck, dude? Hold on, we got so many comments. Connor TKO, ding ding ding. DeMarcus said they're not moving him. Didn't get the price. Yeah, that price is probably fucking stupid.
It's probably like, give me Nathan McKinnon, bitch.
Well, you know what he's going to say, because I have my TV on right here, and I think it's, what's the show called? Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill, and Danny's about to hop on there, so you know he's done if he's about to hop on a TV show. Tanking Gritty, we have a dump and chase system with the smallest forwards and lightest of weight. Gotta get bigger. That's why we got Brett Harrison in here, and Edward. Will it ever end? He's played 70 games one time in the last 6 years. I know. I mean, this is a 30-year-old defenseman who cannot stay healthy, who had a great Olympic. I mean, his price was never going to be higher. This guy's going to get hurt before the season ends. Like, I'm not even trying to be an asshole or I'm not wishing an injury on him, but like it's going to happen.
The probability is that it happens.
Yeah. Probability is, and it's going to happen on our team and not somebody else's team while we're sitting there with the first or a second laughing. Yeah, you just traded for an injury-prone defenseman. Connor, if you look at it from, I don't know if you finished that. I don't know if you finished that comment there. Low-key, part of this is by not potentially getting a 2026 pick from the mid-bill. It just got extended. Unreal, dude. But Derek, wait. We got Luke Glendening.
You know what?
Okay.
Maybe Danny actually won by TKO. Maybe it was rigged. Maybe Danny thought, like Chael Sonnen once thought, that tapping means you lose the round.
Danny got knocked the fuck out by the allegations, bro. The only thing that I'll say about Glendening is he's a hell of a face-off guy. Like, this guy is a crazy face-off guy. He has not had a face-off percentage below 48% his entire career. And that was his rookie year at 24 years old. That's pretty crazy. 51.7 this year, 57% last year, 56% 2 years ago, and almost 60% in 2022 with Dallas. So that's probably the only good thing that comes with him. He's 36 years old. He's going to be the 4C. Not much to say about that, but
yeah. As Connor says, if you look at it from a depression standpoint, we got Jiricek, Michkov on the right wing, and a bump call-up. Ideally, yes, that's what we got. I do still mistrust Tocchet and following through with Michkov on the right wing. But if we got all three of those things, it's not too bad.
Well, here's this. Connor, I respect this. I respect this outlook. But I will say this. Jiricek, he's starting in the AHL. But I also did see the thing that John Bailey said in the group chat. That might just be so he's eligible for the AHL playoffs. We'll see what they do with that if he actually comes up at some point. But for right now, he's in the AHL. Like Derek said, I'm not confident that Michkov is going to play on the right side. And yeah, bump playing this weekend is pretty cool. I'll give them that. Cool. Like, bump coming up has nothing to do with the trade deadline. I'm sorry. If you call up Bunt, where the hell do you fit in Martone and Forrester back in? Who is the odd man out? Do they not extend secrets? I've been thinking this for a fucking long time. I was going to say something to you on this podcast. Where the fuck is Jet Luchenko playing? Where is he playing? Because unless they're trading Cates, they're not trading Dvorak. You just signed him to a 5-year deal. And I don't know how you're going to get rid of Coots. So you got those three centers right now. Are you going to play Luchenko as 4C until you can trade one of those guys, or one of those guys retires, or there's a lot of questions. Where does Bump play? Where does Luchenko? Where do all of these guys play? This is why it makes no sense for him not to unload. I'm sorry, more players. Tippett would have gotten you back something really nice if you would have packaged him with Ristolainen. Like, get creative. I haven't seen this guy get creative since the Provorov trade. I mean, like, the Zico's trade was cool, but like Anaheim was practically giving him away. Okay, cool. You got him. I don't like this. Yeah, the more I sit here with you, this deadline's not it.
Depressed Flyers fan puts it well. Worst deadline to date. Fireable offense.
Yeah, I got so many more comments. Hold up. Vince thrilled I've never had to watch God's checking ice ever again.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. That is positive. TKO'd by the allegations.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we were talking about. Vince says, I'm not convinced Michkov will ever play right wing under this coach, waiting for the firing. I want to see, I don't know, did they play, was it practice today that those lines were made?
Well, they apparently did practice, but I have not gotten any confirmation on who was left and right with Barkey and Michkov. Barkey did play right wing for spurts at Lehigh Valley, so it wouldn't even be ridiculous if Tocchet moved him over. Well, I mean, it would be, but it wouldn't be as ridiculous as what Tocchet has done to date.
Jacuzzi said Grim Reaper took out Deslauriers and Hathaway is next. Dude, they're going to extend Hathaway to like a 2 or 3 year deal very soon. Very soon. In the O. Yeah, worst depressed Flyers fan, fireable offense, worst deadline to date. I mean, we had all the assets, all of them, just use them. When we realize this core isn't it. I think that's the thing at the end of the day, right? They believe in this core. They believe in the Sanheims, in the Konechnys, in the Couturiers, in the Dvoraks. They believe in these guys. They think that this group is going to take them to the next step. And that's where, like, a lot of us, that's where the gap is, right? Because we don't. Not saying that Konechny and Sanheim are bad players. They're good, supportive pieces.
Yeah, they do not represent a competitive core.
Yeah, I think that's as simple and as nicely we could possibly put it, because you have a bunch of people, that fucking Andreas Nodal guy today on the timeline coming at me because I wanted to put Jiricek in the top 4. You got people like that who just, they hop on the fucking website just to bitch at you. It's funny. I like shit like that. I like going back and forth with people because I have absolutely no problem fighting with somebody like that.
One of my professional haters.
Yeah. Oh, I actually like your podcast. I just call stupid shit out when I see it. Okay. Well, you're also
I like your pod. I'm going to go with a fucking litany of insults aimed at your way, but don't worry. I like
it. Yeah, right? Shen, Stanley got Rosen, Bryson second. Falk was getting actual assets. Myers, Murphy got a second. Danny couldn't get anything like that for Risto. It's not the case of Market. See, like, that's the thing. He probably could have gotten a second and a nice little, but that's not what they wanted. They overvalued him. They wanted gold. They wanted the world for him. And that's what's the problem with this organization. They overvalue every single fucking player they have. Yes. It's like some of the people in this fan base where you talk to them and every player is the best, and like if you insult one of the players, they get personally offended. It's like that. Like, this organization views these guys as like star players. Like, this organization loves Sanheim. I know Danny tried to trade him, and maybe Sanheim woke up a little bit because he has been a little bit more consistent, but he's still Sanheim at the end of the day. That's the thing. Like, they love Tippett. Like, they think Tippett could be a 30-goal scorer, even though he's not on pace to outscore his 2023, 2024 point totals.
They continuously call Tippett a star in the making. They did
all
it
the time
into the runoff of this season. They did it in the beginning of this season. Are like star. No, he's not. He's as old as Robert Thomas. And if you're telling me Robert Thomas is too old and we can't trade assets for him, how the hell is Owen Tippett a star in the making?
I don't know, Derek. I don't know, man. All I know is we have Luke Glendening, so
yeah,
guy's going on 30.
All our problems just turn to pixie dust and float away.
I don't even want to watch these fucking games, dude. To be honest, I'm so fucking annoyed, man. Like,
wait, do they play tonight?
No, not tonight. Thank God.
No.
Dude, he's 31 years old. He's 31 years old. He'll be 32 in October. I know like, a lot of people are going to turn around and be, well, he's still under contract for another year, so they could turn around and ship him next year. But it's like, will he be healthy next year? Will he still play as well as he has in the last couple of years now? Like, we don't know. Anything can happen.
Will the market be even worse next year?
Yeah. Tocchet literally compared Tippett to Ranson and still can't get over it.
Yeah. And it's like,
was it
okay. So it's actually even funnier because you would think, well, we can give Tocchet the out that he was talking about one aspect of Mikko Rantanen's game and the way they blow through the neutral zone. Here's the problem. That is not an aspect of Mikko Rantanen's game. Not even a little bit. Mikko Rantanen is slow as molasses through the neutral zone. It's been his problem since day one. Now he's a superstar anyway, but this has been the ongoing Achilles heel of Mikko Rantanen is that he's slow through the neutral zone. And yet freaking Tocchet's over here like, you know what? Tippett's like Mikko Rantanen with his speed to the neutral zone and his size. Do you even know what the hell you're watching, man?
All right, this is pretty crazy. This is not possible. This was never going to happen. I don't know if this is sarcasm, but this is never going to happen. Dvorak, Tippett, Risto, and a pick or two is not getting you Robert Thomas. I'm sorry, but Justin Falk just went to Detroit from Elliot Friedman. One of the last minutes trades.
All right, what did Vegas do at the last minute? That's what I want to know.
First and a third for from Detroit for Justin Falk. We couldn't move Risto. Dude, I hate this fucking team, bro. I hate this. I'm with you now, Derek. Briere's got to go. Briere fucking sucks, dude. I'm sorry.
My keyboard. I almost compromised my keyboard. I took in iced tea as I heard the price for Justin Falk, and it was a big mistake. But I saved myself.
Someone today mentioned Tippett as being a 40-goal guy. He doesn't get 40 if you put him on McDavid or McKinnon's. I mean, he might put up 40 if you do that. But like, I agree, man. I agree, though. It's crazy. I mean, these people talk about him like he's a 22-year-old kid who's still developing. I mean, he's almost how old is he? 27?
Yeah.
And this guy's. I mean, like I said, this guy. He's 27 years old. His birthday is February 16th, so hope he's 28 in a couple weeks or a week. This guy, I went and looked at his stats because I was like, why do people keep talking about him? Like he's done this like a million times. Ryan Strome from Anaheim to Calgary per Elliot Friedman. Okay, that's a nothing trade. His best year in the NHL so far was 2023-2024 when he had 28 goals, 25 assists for 53 points in 78 games. He is right now on pace for 26 goals, 23 assists, and 49 points in 82 games. So he's going to play, hopefully, he doesn't get hurt. He's going to play in more games, and he's on pace for less points than that year. And people still talk about him like he's going to score 40 goals. And he's 28 years old in 2 weeks, or in a week. It blows my mind. It really, this guy could have gotten you back something of value with Ristolainen. And they don't want to trade any of these guys because they're too attached. They're too emotionally attached to all of these players. Bobby Brink, they probably fucking cried doing that, but they got a right-handed defenseman that they needed back for him.
I really would love to be a fly on the wall in that room as they said, okay, we'll trade him.
A first and a third for Falk. What the fuck? I know, dude. I wonder.
That was my reaction.
I wonder if the first is 2027 or if it's like this year.
I mean,
oh yeah, I already said that.
If Risto gets you a first-round pick of any variety,
yeah,
surely he has to be on the flight out.
I would have drove him.
Yeah.
I would have drove him. Vince, did they at least get Carolina to stock the soda machines for the team? Dude, could you imagine getting traded for a 2027 7th round pick that's conditional? That's like the worst possible thing to get traded for, other than future considerations.
Honestly, at that point, I think I would have preferred being traded for future considerations.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe throw a Big Mac in there or something. Extra,
is crazy.
Big Mac, extra Mac sauce. I'll take it. The Press Flyers fan. Rizzo, Brink, Tippett, 2 firsts and a second for Thomas.
So
hey, here, take my second and my third line wingers and an injury-prone 30-year-old defenseman and a second and a first. And
well,
second
what it
for
comes
Rob
down
Thomas.
to, and we had this conversation early on in the pod, the Blues told the Flyers that you cannot put a package together that we consider good enough for Robert Thomas without including one of Matvei Michkov or Porter Martone.
Is it crazy for me to say that I would have been very comfortable with them shipping either one of those two guys out for Quinn Hughes, but I'm not comfortable doing that for Robert Thomas?
Not at all. Quinn Hughes is a year younger and one of the very best defensemen in the sport. So I think I am along the same lines there. I would have rather done that for Quinn Hughes because the contract situation doesn't scare me as much because as we've seen, everybody in the NHL extends.
Yep. Especially with the cap going up the way it has. Teams
Exactly.
have money to keep their guys.
We could have kept Quinn Hughes if we acquired Quinn Hughes. So if we were going to ship one of those guys, it would have had to have been for Quinn Hughes. But it does get to a bigger issue, and this was where we took the conversation. It's a problem that you have to include one of those two guys in order to make a trade like for Robert Thomas.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a problem that you don't have anything other than those two. Like every team has their top two guys that everyone knows they can't touch. But then a lot of other teams have other guys who are touchable, but they still like them. You know what I mean? Like I like Alex Bump. I don't think any other team likes him as much as we do. Like
Exactly. It's the way Connor said it the best. The fact that these are the only two that have the type of value they need is the problem.
Leafs trade McMahon to Seattle. The Leafs just got a 2027 second-round pick and a 2026 fourth-round pick for McMahon.
It's a good market. You were getting something good for Rizzo. They
Unreal,
just
dude.
tried to get Shane Wright and a first-round pick for Rizzo.
And the Rangers didn't move Trocheck, which I'm very surprised by.
Yeah.
Ranger fans are also pissed, just like we are. What is Drury doing? What is he doing? Connor says the fact that those are only two that have any type of value is the problem. Yeah, it's essentially what we've been talking about the whole entire podcast. And I thought your thread on it, was that yesterday that you made that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was, just fucking you hit the nail on the head with that thread. And I think a lot more people need to be talking about it too, because in retrospect, looking at it in hindsight, those two number 12 picks, and you couldn't even start a conversation with Quinn Hughes or Robert Thomas with those guys as the essential pieces with picks too. It's definitely something that I think this fan base needs to talk a little bit more about. Because we have the top guys who essentially kind of fell in our laps. Like those weren't like extremely crazy picks that, oh wow, they got him at like 14th. That's crazy. I mean, Martone should have went higher, and everyone knows the Michkov story. So it's not like they did some crazy, you know what I mean? It's not like they had some crazy scouting system where they just found diamond in the roughs. No, I mean your two top main guys fell to you. You didn't tank for them. You didn't have top 3 picks. You didn't have top 2 picks. They essentially fell to you.
Yeah, exactly. And that situation is not repeatable for centers is the problem. You're not going to get Martone but a center. You're not going to get Michkov but a center at 10th overall. It's just not going to happen. Wingers fall in the draft. That has happened for as long as there has been a draft. Centers and defensemen, but mostly centers, honestly, are overvalued. Like the premium that teams place on the center position is, in my opinion, too high but you still need centers. So eventually you have to pay the piper. And paying the piper in this case means you're either going to have to tank or you're going to have to find another way. But guess what? Finding another way is going to have to include at this point trading Porter Martone or Matvei Michkov. You can't trade for one any other way. So you're really left with one reasonable solution, which is to tank.
But they're not going to do that. That's just not in their blood. That's just not in their DNA. I mean, you have the...
Exactly. They will probably sooner trade one of those two.
Is it crazy to say that although I like Drysdale and his development, that they probably should have tried to get a center in that Cutter-Gauthier trade?
They should have. I don't know that there was one on the table.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done, obviously.
Apparently on the table, but I don't think he's really filling the gap we need filled.
No. I remember the days where Boldy was in the conversation like years ago. Like, oh, will Boldy get moved? But now he's a superstar. Not a superstar, but, you know.
Yeah.
Vince, you know they were thinking about doing that back in December, considering how they were trashing Michkov. Wonder who shot that down.
Probably Keith Jones. I think Keith Jones said you are not doing that.
Whoever shot it down is completely right. He should not go anywhere. I would trade Martone before I trade Michkov, but that's just me. Tanky Gritty. Danny's new name is now Middleman Dan for trying. Yep. You guys excited for the next 12th overall pick we're going to get? See, this is the thing. We need to clear how simple is that. It's just like it kind of goes in line with the whole tanking thing. I don't think it's going to happen. They don't clear house. I don't even remember the last time they cleared. I was probably a fucking child the last time they cleared house. I mean, I guess 2011 with the Richards and Carter trade. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
In a weird way. I mean, obviously you don't have a Jeff Carter or a Mike Richards to trade away, but the guys that you think are the current core need to go, and you need to just get a new core in here like they did that year. So that's probably the last time. 2011, really? 15 years ago?
Nuts. And
I mean, what
another comment, Michkov has proven he can succeed. I actually think this gets to a point that you had touched on, which is why the fans have turned on Rick Tocchet so quickly. And it's because it's basically this confluence of factors where you have this very public, I will just call it oil and vinegar situation. Michkov and Tocchet on a pure hockey level are not simpatico. And everybody can see it clear as day. And yet it's hard to blame Michkov for that because we saw what he could do just the year prior. And on top of that...
Hold on. I'm sorry. The Kings just traded for Scott Lawton.
Oh, that's funny.
I need to see what he went for.
Toronto.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Keep going.
All right.
I'm sorry.
So you have this situation where Tocchet essentially gets into this conflict with Michkov, and people are naturally going to take Michkov's side because of who he's been in the Flyers system for years, but also what he did last year. And what he did last year kind of created expectations, not just for the team, but for the Flyers. Nobody watched Matvei Michkov play hockey last year and said, you know what? I bet the team is going to come in and be the kings of dump and chase. I bet Matvei Michkov is going to come into year 2 and we're going to be the most boring team in the league. Would anybody have been that shocked if Michkov did not take quite the step we were hoping he would going from year 1 to year 2? No, that happens all the time. That's perfectly normal. But what people are shocked by, what people can't forgive, is the fact that you have this guy that clearly should be the focal point of the team as far as just how they play.
Everything.
And he isn't. And instead, we've become the capital of dump and chase. And so, yes, that is why Rick Tocchet is going to get turned on by everybody very quickly, because fans came in expecting one thing, reasonably so, and they got an entirely different thing that is orders of magnitude worse.
I'm actually extremely surprised that we didn't see Tocchet absolutely lay in the Michkov after that one goal last night. Like when Sanheim was trying to get back and Sanheim took the wrong angle, and then it kind of left Michkov in no man's land with that guy getting in behind him. I don't think it was Michkov's fault. I think Sanheim took the wrong route. I don't think he should have went that way. I think he should have went to the guy that scored the fucking goal. But things like that is always going to kind of keep him down in a Tocchet system. We're never going to see him. I mean, we're seeing him on power play 1 now. That's because Konechny is not playing. Especially Brink was their guy that they had on power play 1. He's not here anymore. So do they? You know how funny it would be if they called Bump up and then Bump was on PP1 and then you still had Michkov with like Barkey on PP2. It's like
they're going to do it. They're totally going to do it.
Did you see what Shen got back?
Yeah, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
Jonathan Drouin, a 2026 first, that's Colorado's, a third, and Marcus Gandalf? Gidolf. That's a Gandalf. Fuck, man. I mean, the market was there. The market was there with players, whether it was a center or a defenseman. It was there, man. And the more we go on, the further we go with this podcast, the more pissed off I am, honestly. This is a bad trade deadline. I like the Brink trade, but I don't think that was enough for where they are at all. I mean, I'm waiting for wait till summer. Wait till summer. It's all these are summer moves. They're all summer moves. I hear that. I've been hearing that for the last 10 years of my fucking life. Oh, it's all summer moves. It's all summer moves. This is no way. Oh yeah, I thought Vince said something about that. This is going to resolve sooner or later. One is going to have to go. Michkov RFA next summer. Brink on PP1 is insane. We saw
How did we do that for that long? That's wild.
for a while too, dude. He's probably so fucking happy that he's back home in Minnesota on a decent team.
It's so funny that like the minute you saw, Michkov and Brink seem to like each other. Hey, yeah, Michkov has a friend on the team. They're like, all right, now we can trade Brink. We had to wait until then.
Now he only has Andrea.
If Rizzo started liking Michkov, he would be traded the next hour. Doesn't matter if the trade deadline's over. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't make a difference.
Oh, man. What a fucking nightmare, dude. Like, if I would have told you 2 days ago that they traded Brink for Jiricek, they traded D'Lo for a Big Mac, they scooped up Luke Glendening on waivers, and they traded Rizzo and Gendy, what would you have told me? Nothing else.
Simply not enough.
They packed the bags up, Derek, after.
Yeah. Like, I'm excited enough about the Jiricek swap. I think that could bear fruit. It could also really not, but it's certainly interesting. And then everything else is a non-factor. It might as well not have happened. It just, that was the only thing that happened, and that is nowhere near enough.
I want to talk about the reason why that trade was doable. Because I had a lot of people in my group chats and some friends who were like, oh, well, I really like Brink. But I was trying to explain that, like, they had such an influx of wingers that a trade around these lines was always going to happen. They always needed to make this type of trade with one of Brink or Tippett. I thought, I still do think Tippett would give you a lot more back. I think he's held higher in regard around the league. I honestly think we would miss his speed, but he was still a guy that I'm willing to dangle because he has value. He really does. Konechny does too, but like, there's no way that they're trading Konechny. That dude's going to be here till he retires.
Oh yeah, they have confirmed that pretty much. And the problem is, as much as this was mandatory, as much as getting rid of Brink was mandatory, or getting rid of some winger, it's not over. The winger logjam is not resolved.
No, not at all. No, you still have Tippett. You still have Mitchie. You have Konechny. You have Zegras, who I'm considering a winger now. Barkey, Grebs, Martone, Bump. Like, yeah, they have a lot of fucking wingers that they need to make decisions with. And pretty soon. Like, this isn't a thing where, we can wait 2 years. No, Martone's probably here. No, Martone is here next year. If not this year, if he gets kicked out of the playoffs a little bit early, which I don't think is going to happen. Even if he did, I wouldn't waste an ELC on him this year. He's going to be here next year.
Is coming. Porter Martone is coming. Well, Tyson Forrester's coming back, but you know what I mean.
I didn't even mention Forrester. You have Bump, who's coming up this weekend. Who the fuck is he playing for, by the way? Is Konechny hurt? Who's he playing for?
Konechny must be actually hurt. Well, I've honestly thought that was the case for a little while now because they keep holding Konechny back for like one game at a time. But then he comes in, no, I'm still good, guys. I think he's been soldiering through a lot, and I think they're finally pulling the plug.
And guess what, Derek? And I'm not trying to fucking shit on him. He's been great this year. He really has. This happens every year with him.
Yeah.
This happens almost every year with him. I could be wrong by saying every single year. Somebody can quote me. But it seems like this guy gets hurt around the same time every year or is dealing with something every year around the same time.
Yeah, the way he plays and the frame he has, and part of it's just poor luck, things add up on him.
Yeah. I mean, he's not the biggest guy in the world. We know that. And like you said, the way he plays, he doesn't give a fuck. He throws his body. He's like Hathaway. He's like a more... No. In the sense of like they don't give a fuck about their bodies. That's kind of how they play. Exactly.
And it's admirable, but it does end up in situations like this where you get to March and you are crippled. Like if the Flyers were still in the playoff hunt, and I mean like realistically in the playoff hunt, I'm sure he would still be trying to play, but he wouldn't be anywhere near his peak self. And if he got into playoffs, he would probably be terrible because everybody else is like, you know, hopped up on adrenaline and he can't move.
Yeah. They should probably just shut him the fuck down, to be honest with you.
That's probably
they're not going to.
That's what I think is going to happen here.
I doubt it. They're 6 points out of the wild card 2 spot. They have 2 games. Wait, no, I'm sorry. They're tied with Boston with 61 apiece. So they're 6 points back behind Boston with the same amount of games played. I guarantee you, not the players. I'm not talking about the players because the players are never going to admit that they're not going to try to make the playoffs. It's just not in hockey players' DNAs. This front office thinks that they can make the playoffs. Like, I'm not talking in the sense of going out in the locker room and speaking in front of the media. Of course, these guys are going to say that. They're not ever going to come out and be like, no, we don't want to make the playoffs. In meetings, behind closed doors, they are talking about this team as if they are going to make the playoffs this year. They want them to sneak in. Because you know what, Derek? This is what I think. I think at the end of the day, Comcast Spectre just wants to sell tickets. They haven't made the playoffs in years. They want to be able to turn around and be like, look, guys, Danny Briere brought us back to the playoffs. We are back in the playoffs after years of not making it. After almost half a decade of not making it. More than half a decade. They're back. Fuck all these fair weather fans who don't care to see. You know what I mean? That's what they wanted. They just want to be able to point and be like, give us money. Buy the playoff tickets. Come see us play. We don't care how we got here. We don't care that we made Dan Vladar stand on his head all year. And he's the only reason that we're in the position that we are. They don't care. They just want to be able to point and say, we made the playoffs, buy the tickets now. That's all they want at the end of the day, I think.
I think it's almost sadder in that if Spectacor wanted this, it would make sense. I think it's sad because I think Danny thinks this way. I think Danny is legit the one going, no. The way we're going to rebuild this team, bro, is we're going to make the playoffs and we're going to get the XP boost for all our players.
Experience. Yeah,
and they're going to
guess
the
what?
new level.
Guess what? Playoff experience doesn't mean jack shit if you're getting steamrolled.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
And by the way,
who the fuck needs to come out and say that? Playoff experience does not matter if you're getting fucking steamrolled. Playoff experience matters if you have the nucleus that you want to move forward with, that you think can make that next step, like a Michkov, a Bump, Zegers playing center, Luchenko in the top 6. If that was the team making the playoffs and squeaking into the 8th seed, I'd be in. But that's not what this is. That's not what this is. A team that is scratching and clawing their way with Travis Sanheim and Travis Konechny and Sean Couturier and Noah Cates. And Dvorak. This is what this team is. That's what we're watching. It's so much different. People don't understand the nuance to that. It's incredible.
Exactly. It's something to believe about in the future. That would be what your first team, your first example is. Something where we could get excited about something in the future iterations of the team that we can actually envision. Whereas with this, it's like we know the ceiling of this team. The ceiling of this team is getting in the playoffs, just barely, and then getting summarily executed in the playoffs.
You're telling me that's not good for development, Derek? Come on, you fake fan. You've never
Summary
coached hockey.
Executions are great for development. More at 11.
You've never played hockey. You can't have an opinion, Derek.
You're not the GM. You can't have an opinion.
Connor says if last year was rock bottom, what exactly was this year? Double rock bottom.
The core of the earth.
Danny versus the allegations. I still remember 2 years ago, I was telling you to calm the fuck down and let's wait after the trade deadline to get mad. And here we are in 2026 of February.
And it turns out I wasn't mad enough.
I want to cry, dude. I want to cry. Hey, I already admit that I'm an optimist. I'm willing to give people the chance, but we're past that point now, dude. This is his third.
I'm neither optimistic nor pessimistic. What I see is what I see. I have been optimistic before. I have been pessimistic before. And in the case of Danny, one might think I'm a cynic, but that's because Danny keeps getting finished by the allegations every single year.
Vince said, when's the next Cutter Bowl? That's the only thing I look forward to now. It's quite literally the only thing I look forward to. That's by playoffs in the last 2 years. It's been whenever we play that team.
So we can beat Gautier's team as he goes on to score 35 goals.
Wait, you know what's really funny? Cutter Gauthier is a 30-goal scorer. He's 21, 22 years old. He scored 30 goals this year. Owen Tippett's about to turn 28, and people are still talking about him scoring 30 goals, and he's never fucking done it. Cutter Gauthier does it in his second NHL season. Or is this his... No, this is second.
It's his second full season. He did show up for 1 year, but I think it was like one game.
It's hilarious. Simon SM says, when is something ever going to change in new ownership? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Who's to say they don't go out and hire fucking Eric Wellwood?
Eventually, no matter who the owner is. Like, listen, the owner only matters for one thing. Is the owner willing to put out money? If the owner is willing to put out money, it's on the executives. And
Comcast is never going to sell, though. They would. Well, why would they ever sell?
First thing. The second thing is, like, why do I want them to? So I can get. Here's a great idea. Let's get Comcast with their limitless resources to sell the team to some dude who can barely afford it, so we can get managed like the Arizona Coyotes and still have retarded executives.
Yep.
Like, the big problem, and I understand why people go to the common denominator after a while. I really do. But the common denominator is something different than what people realize. We hire GMs from the same pool. We continuously go, well, who has connections to our Flyers alumni? And the candidates who have connections to the Flyers alumni are terrible because the team has been terrible since Eric Lindros.
It's so funny. People completely deflect that argument. The Flyers, old Flyers argument. But Chuck Fletcher wasn't a Flyer. It's like, okay, but everybody else around him was.
And everybody in his freaking family was a former Flyer. So,
I mean, Ron Hextall was an ex-GM, ex-Flyer. Paul Holmgren, ex-Flyer. Chuck's assistant, Danny Briere, ex-Flyer. John LeClaire, who's an advisor, ex-Flyer. Patrick Sharp, who's an advisor, ex-Flyer. Schultz, ex-Flyer. Who else? The president of the fucking team, Keith Jones, ex-Flyer. I mean, stop dismissing this argument when it's a very real argument. This is a
the
fucking
coach of the team now. Former
country
Flyer.
club. The coach. That I'm still not over that gargantuan. Or I'm gargantuan. What's his name? Gargano, the guy who interviewed Hilferty, Briere, and Tocchet like in the beginning of the season.
Yes.
I still can't get over that interview. Like, oh guys, you're all ex-Flyers. Are you excited to be here to play in front of the fans? Like, no actual questions. Just lay up fucking. Oh, you're an ex-Flyer. Are you excited to play around these fans again? Like, who gives a fuck, dude? Who gives a fuck? Everybody in this organization has connection. I mean, not everyone, obviously, but a lot. I mean, like Ian LaPerriere was in this organization for how many fucking years?
And Vince said it. The last time they had a GM with no Flyer connections at all was Russ Farwell. And he was the guy who accumulated all the talent for the Lindros trade.
Derek, we need you as the GM.
At this point, I would be a better GM than whoever they're going to hire next. Forget Danny.
Josh said we got made fun of for thinking the Flyers should operate like NHL 26, but that's literally what they do.
Yeah. They actually do that.
You're 100% correct. It's all a virtue signal to Comcast to show them that they're profitable to keep their jobs. If Briere built a house, he'd be picking out the furniture before the foundation is built. Perfectly said. Absolutely perfectly said. Holy shit, we got a lot of comments. Yeah, that's essentially what I think they give a fuck. Like, they just give a fuck about selling tickets. You guys remember when they made that like demolition room inside the fucking stadium? Like, hey, we know our product is so bad. We have a room that you can just come in and just beat the shit out of everything inside of the room because we know everything about this organization fucking blows.
Because they literally did that all the time, and we are going to give you an outlet.
They sneak into the AC. D'Lo scores the game one winner. Wait, Lawton went for a what? Hold up. Hold the phone. Hold on. Jacquezie Lawton for a third?
Third
round. We got a first, and we're banking.
Give him that. We got to give Danny that.
Oh,
He
I mean,
still can't do the job anymore. But
we will give him his props.
By the way,
it's due.
How did the Carolina Hurricanes add absolutely nothing except Nic Deslauriers?
Yeah, I kind of fuck with it, not going to lie. They did their adding there.
I have to do Tulski versus the Allegations.
They did their adding. They got Ehlers. Didn't he just score a hat trick a couple of games ago?
That's true. They did a lot of adding before this, so.
They did. Hold on, let me.
That's still pretty funny, though.
Their depth chart. Hold up.
If Tulski has a quiet summer, come next trade deadline, I might have to be simultaneously doing Danny versus the Allegations and Tulski versus the Allegations. I might have to call him something different for each. Like Tulski might have to fight the accusations.
Carolina actually has a really good defense. It's actually kind of scary. Slavin Chatfield, Miller Walker, Ghost Nikishin.
Hey.
That's crazy.
Wait a minute.
What?
Why is Carolina's awesome defense core made out of guys who were Flyers?
Two of them.
Yeah.
I sometimes forget that Sean Walker was a Flyer. Attacking Gritty. How do fans show their disdain publicly? Do they pick at the next season ticket holder meeting needs to be the one, not maybe on the same level. Actually, no, fuck that. The same level as the Chuck Fletcher one.
Yeah.
Season ticket holders need to make their voices heard. You're the reason you guys spend all of that money. You have the privilege to go in there and ask these people questions. Don't give them layups. Ask questions. I have a buddy who's a season ticket holder. He'll be there. I'm like, dude, give me the ticket if you're not going to fucking ask these guys questions, because I will go there and go live on TLY and ask these people questions.
You pay a lot of money to watch as many games and to attend as many games as you do. You have every right to want to know what your investment is looking like. Lawton for a third. Amazing.
Crazy. Vince, I root for Carter. So do I, dude, honestly, at this point. Like, it's still kind of fuck him, because, I mean, we still haven't gotten the story of why he didn't want to be here. I mean, you can make an educated guess. I wouldn't want to be in this fucking dumpster fire of an organization right now either. Maybe he just made a really smart decision. But he's fun to watch. That whole Anaheim team. I mean, they just extended Paling. They extended Paling before we extended Zegers. They just handed Paling 4 years.
Insane.
I root positives this year. Vladar, Tony Cannolis. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like Vladar, Tippett not hitting plexiglass every time he shoots the puck. He's been a little bit more consistent. Konechny's been good this year. Michkov's still been good this year, despite everything that's gone against him. I think Drysdale's been good this year. Who else am I missing? That's probably it. I mean, the Denver Barkey thing was cool in the beginning. We'll see what Alex Bump does when he comes up. We'll see if Porter Martone joins. But I think those are probably the actual positives of this season. There are not a lot.
Somebody made this point in the group chat we're in, Hockey Gobbler. You can almost be more confident in Michkov because of this year, because we really did speed run. How badly can we fuck him over, and just how horrible will it look? And it's like, oh, actually, he's still a pretty good player, even if you try to screw him up. Even if you do the worst things possible at every turn, even if every single thing goes wrong for him, actually, he's still a pretty good player. That's kind of nuts. It's scary.
It's crazy. I don't think I actually read this not to you, but I kind of wanted to go over that last interview that he had, because he's been really good in terms of speaking to the media and not saying anything that the media can run off with. Like, he's just been a pro this entire time, I think. And that interview, I translated, like, the English that gets translated for him is so bad. His interpreter is awful. But I forget what account it is on Twitter. It's a Russian account, like UG or something like that, like UGGGG. He translated that interview in Russian, like word for word. So I translated the translation over to my notes app. So I kind of just want to go through this real quick, because I just love how he's just been very professional, and he's still a kid, 21 years old. So Jordan Hall asked him, now that we're in late February, how do you feel about your relationship has grown with Rick Tocchet and the coaching staff? And Michkov replies with, it's a standard player-coach relationship. We all have one goal. The team is winning. So everyone is working towards that. In the summer, we had that long break. So when I first hit the ice, it felt like everything was new. Everything feels new. It was tough to find my rhythm in those first games. But right before the break, the Olympic break, I was feeling great. I started creating chances for myself and my teammates. In his first few games, I came out thinking, 10 games and no chances? I'm thinking, what's going on? The game is just not there, no matter how hard I try, and that really messes with your head. But in moments like that, you just have to go out there, work harder, and focus only on your job. You have to work hard, and it will come. There is no other way. My mood is completely tied to hockey. That's why I had to work hard during the break for my own peace of mind. And I think that's something during the TV, I think Boucher and Jim Jackson were talking about it. Like, the team didn't tell him to do anything. This was all Michkov's doing. That whole offseason thing where he had a trainer come with him wherever he went. That was Michkov's idea. Then Charlie O'Connor asked him, in the week leading up to the break there was obviously a lot of chatter about you in the media. Did you pay any attention to any of that, or did you black all of that out? And Michkov goes, what was it? I don't know. And then they tried to move on from the question. And Michkov looked at Charlie and was like, no, what's up? What was that? And so he goes, so what was it? And Charlie goes, just with the press conference that Danny Briere did before the second game, before the break, about the ice time with you and the relationship with Rick Tocchet. And Michkov responds, I play however many minutes they give me. That's how much I'm supposed to play. So I just focus on what I can control, go on the ice, and give my 100% on my job. If that's how the coach wants to utilize me, then that's how it is. I'm a player. I just have to focus at my job 100% and stay focused on every moment. And then somebody asked him, I don't know who it was. I think it might have been Jackie. Sorry, Jackie, but I don't recognize your voice yet. You played right wing for most of your career leading up to this point, but you've been on the left wing this year more. How have you adjusted, and how do you feel like your adjustment has been switching both sides? And his reaction to this was genuine. He laughed and put his head down. I was like, that's a really hard question. I don't know. I've played on the right my whole life and I loved it. And now they put me on the left. It's a new role for me. If that's where they see me, then I have to adapt as quickly as I can. But to be honest, I feel like I created more chances and more opportunities from the right side for myself and my teammates. So right now, my main goal is to bring all of that over to the left side and do the same things there. Those are the only things I'm going to read. But like those 3 quotes, I think he could have obviously went in a different direction, and he didn't. He's a very professional kid. And throughout all of this, he's been great.
It's crazy to me that, well, first of all, Michkov clearly sees being on the right wing as opposed to the left wing as a very important thing for him.
Absolutely.
And if he made that clear to the media, he almost surely made that clear to the team and the coaching staff. So how is he making that clear, making himself that clear? And Tockett's still like, well, I hear what you're saying, Matvey, but go fuck yourself. Get on the left wing.
How does management not step in and be like, this kid is telling you he's more comfortable on the right side, and you continue to put him on the left side because you want him to receive neutral zone breakout passes on his forehand, just for him to turn around and dump the puck in. There's no neutral zone. Who gives a fuck what hand he's on? He can corral it from his backhand and then dump the puck in. What the fuck are we talking about? That's just an excuse. That's an excuse for Tocchet to do with Michkov as he pleases. He wants control over Michkov. He'll say where he plays. He's the coach. Yeah. I'm the coach. It's just.
Here's the thing.
Oh my god! Dude.
When you're playing on your off wing, it's easier to turn the puck over. That's what it is. It is easier to just bobble the puck while you're going through the neutral zone and turn the puck over. I don't care, because it's also a lot easier to make shit happen offensively, especially when you're used to it and you've been doing it for your whole life. Like Michkov has at this point built an entire arsenal of moves predicated on him being on the right wing.
Yep.
And if that's the case, you don't need to make his NHL transition even harder by being like, get your ass on the left wing, buddy. Like, you guys have talked ad nauseum endlessly about, man, it's hard for him because of the culture and the language barrier and the this and the that, and the this is not a normal prospect situation. It is even harder for him than it is for most prospects. You guys have to understand how difficult this is for Michkov. Why the fuck are you making it more difficult then?
After he's admitted that he's not comfortable on the left side, but he's going to do his best to bring it.
After completely blowing off the relationship with Tocchet, at least like blowing off the idea that it was particularly poor, completely blowing off the ice time, that those don't bother him enough to actually be honest about it with the media. But when they asked him about the right wing versus left wing dichotomy, he was so sufficiently bothered that he actually complained about it to the media. And he did it in a very respectful, very professional way.
He did, yeah. Like, hey,
you could tell he is more bothered by being on the right wing or not being on the right wing than he is by any of the other stuff. You can't even give him that. Like, ultimately, you didn't want to trade this kid for Quinn Hughes. You don't want to trade this kid for Robert Thomas. You know what that means? You view him as the face of the freaking franchise. You view him as a future superstar. And you're telling me you have such blatant disregard for your future superstar as to not even give him this pittance of allowing him to play on the side he's most comfortable on. That is, forget the hockey side of it. That is egregious business asset management. The entire front office should be fired simply for not stepping in. Forget Tocchet being fired. Tocchet does need to be fired. Tocchet also needs to be arrested. Like, the front office needs to be cleaned out for being this negligent.
I agree, dude. I agree. Like, I was going to say, the only scenario where I would have been okay with this if, like, Martone would have came into camp next year and they would have thrown Michkov on the left on the same line as him. Okay. I probably would throw Martone over there, but if that's the idea, you want them on the same line, but you want Porter on the right side, okay. But, like, this year to do that is such a weird year. Like, second years for rookies, especially a guy that you picked up from the airport, are very important. Or very important years for young players. And you decide to switch his position and then play him in less minutes and not on power play one. Like, there are so many things that this kid has dealt with this year, and he's still persevered. And I think he's not directly on the same point pace, but almost kind of there, I think. I have to check.
He probably should.
Man.
He wasn't getting like completely screwed on assists, like just a pure luck thing. He just continuously gets like the third, fourth assist on a play. It's hilarious.
It is. But I will say this: I'm excited to see him with Cates and Barkey. Him and Barkey have chemistry.
And I don't even rant that much. I rant for Twitter usually because that Twitter is like the platform of ranting, and I just play the tune I'm given. But doing something that negligent is grounds for ranting. I genuinely can't believe that Michkov was that adamant about being on the right wing. And look, if you want to try him on the left just for this year, just for like 5 games, let's try it. I don't know. Let's see if it works. Okay, fine. Sure. Why not? See if it works. But when it doesn't work, when he's clearly more comfortable on the right wing, when he's begging you to put him back on the right wing, that you still don't do it because, well, he can catch a neutral zone breakout pass on his forehand. What the hell is wrong with you? First of all, by the way, they don't make any neutral zone breakout passes. They don't make any. They lead the damn league in dump outs, and you're telling me about neutral zone breakout passes. Are you insane? Really? Look up your own stats.
Is that a track stat? Because I would love to bring that up and actually
that's a real stat. Like you can,
bring that up.
It comes from Instat, so I don't actually have access to it. I'm just going off of what I remembered from Big Head Hockey in his Michkov video. Basically, what he said is a result of Tocchet's system, the Flyers have the biggest year-over-year jump in defensive zone retrievals, or close to the biggest. The problem is they also have the biggest year-over-year increase in dump-out rate. But we need Michkov on the left wing because he can receive the breakout passes that aren't happening.
Josh says the entire player development staff for former Flyers, Moore and Chris Stewart, Nick Schultz, Riley on. Yep. They're all ex-Flyers. Triple threat match. Danny, Tulski, allegation, loser goes home. Ooh. Isn't it funny? I think Tulsi's a former BSH guy, too. I think he used to be a writer for them.
Maybe it's something in the Philly water. The can't close virus.
Maybe. Attacking and Gritty, season ticket holders gaslight this organization and front office. Yeah, they're usually the fans that are in my replies all mad that I'm calling the team out objectively. It's usually those people. Simon SM, hockey is entertainment, and the product's been fucking boring for years, though, man. Like, when's the last time you sat down consistently and have fun watching the Flyers?
Honestly, 23-24 was legitimately fun. Like a fun team to watch. Last year, I didn't think it was as insufferably boring as it was this year, but it was still pretty boring.
It was still boring.
Yeah.
So probably 3 years was the last time we actually enjoyed. And then that was an anomaly, too, because the years before that were fucking horrendously boring.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. Vince says, positive, the Devo contract signing party was lit.
They fired up the boys.
The boys were fired up, baby. Oh, I love it. Attacking Gritty. Can't wait to watch Tocchet lose his mind over how many risks Jiricek takes on defense. The only guy that game was more than Tocchet. Dude, I'm actually excited to see it because Danny was like, yeah, I'm going to trade for this offensive defenseman that takes risks a little bit too much. And Tocchet's probably sitting there like, dude, I don't want this guy. I don't give a fuck, bro. You're not going to be here in a couple months.
You can kind of tell that's happening, though, because I posed it as a joke, but I'm really not joking. Danny and the front office keep acquiring dudes who are riverboat gamblers. And Tocchet is the absolute opposite of a riverboat gambler, except off the ice where he can't stop gambling. Read the room here. He's not lasting.
Unreal, dude. I'm sorry. I was reading.
No, you're good.
Jordan Hall's tweet.
Oh,
Danny Briere said the Flyers were not looking to dump Rasmus Ristolainen. They listened on him, but Briere said the media caused a little bit of a circus with the Ristolainen noise. He understands why that happens with the media, but they said the Flyers were not looking to dump him. Okay, nobody was asking you to dump him. Danny. We were asking you to recoup assets for him. A second-round pick and a B- prospect. We were not asking you to go get Connor McDavid.
Okay.
Holy fuck.
Hold on.
We were not asking you to dump him for a 6th-round pick. We weren't asking you to dump him for a 2027 conditional 7th-round pick. That's dumping someone.
So really, we have two options here. We can assume Danny is lying through his teeth, which is most likely what's happening. Or we can take Danny at his word, and that moving Rizzo at the value he was at would constitute dumping him. How the fuck is he that bad and you're keeping him on the team? Like, there's no way I can frame this in which what Danny did made any sense. Either he's so bad that the whole league was like, I will give you a 6th-round pick at best, bro. He fucking blows. Or that was not the case, and you turned down actual value and called actual value dumping him. You are either lying or retarded. I can let you choose which.
I bet you teams didn't go to the 1st-round pick because of the injury concerns. I bet you some teams are offering 2nd-round picks, and Danny said that's not enough.
Okay, so here's the thing. I expect Danny to forfeit all of his 2nd-round picks now because that constitutes just dumping players. Like, they don't matter. 2nd-round picks don't matter. 3rd-round picks don't matter. That's what he told me.
Nothing matters, dude. Nothing matters. Bobby Brink for fucking Jiricek, and he called it a day, man. And he called it a fucking day.
He's going to create nihilists of us all.
It's unreal, dude.
He got tapped out by the allegations.
Like, even Grundstrom was apparently in trade talks, and he couldn't even get rid of him. You couldn't grab a 4th-round pick for him. That would have been nice. For a guy that you fucking got in a dump trade. But whatever, dude. Whatever. Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up? We're an hour and 20 in. Anything we haven't talked about that has happened in Flyers? And somebody throw some comments at us. Have we missed anything? We want to go over everything.
Yeah, go ahead. And if there's something we haven't gone over, put it in the comments.
I'm pretty sure I'm looking over. I mean, we talked about the bump thing. That's pretty exciting. I don't think we dove into that too much.
We didn't.
I don't know where the fuck he's going to play. I think that's the last thing I said about it.
Honestly, it's one of those things that I kind of want to see it happen before I go too deep into it.
Yeah. Jinning is up too. Hopefully he plays over Juleson. But, I mean, Rizzo's still here now, so. We need actually, Jinning's not going to play at all. It's going to be probably Sanheim, Rizzo, top pair, York, Drysdale, and then Andrea Sealer when he comes back. Attacking gritty. Who's lasting longer, Briere or Tocchet?
Briere. Briere will get the opportunity to fire Tocchet, but his next coach will be his last.
Yep. I agree. Definitely Briere. But it would be crazy if we were wrong. That'd be such a Tocchet thing to happen. You'd be so happy, right?
Because he got tapped out by the allegations.
And there it is, a fucking upper hand from the allegations. Danny is down.
Huge uppercut by the allegations. The allegations are pouring it on.
Dude, I always keep forgetting that the Kevin Hayes retained salary comes off the books, and Lawton retained salary comes off the books this summer.
Oh yeah,
and the Atkinson buyout. And Tomasino, $600,000 that's buried. They're going to have money to play with, but it's too bad they're not going to have anybody to spend it on.
Seriously.
Taka's going to go 9 forwards and 8 defensemen because I'll give Mitch Covington 13.40 a game. What did he play last night?
He's actually hit 16 minutes in every game after the break but one.
Okay. So Taka's waking up a little bit, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, he's starting to wake up a little bit here.
It's funny, too.
I mean, the front office probably has a literal 45 caliber handgun to his testicle.
What, like, oh my God, the the bar scene in Inglourious Bastards when he has the fucking pistol already on his crotch. He's like, I've had this here since we sat down. He played 16:43. He almost played 17 minutes last night.
Yeah, he's been playing more recently.
Josh says 10 million in dead money off the books for literally no. I know, dude. I know. As we need to tank, man. I agree, brother. I agree, but it's not going to happen. This team's pride is their ego is too big. It's too big.
Look, I'm not even going to do Danny versus Hubris because nobody would sanction that beating. Like, Danny versus the allegations is bad enough, but nobody is going to sanction the beating of Danny versus Hubris.
Are we tuning into Bobby Brink's Minnesota Wild debut tonight? 10 o'clock against the Golden Knights?
Sure, why not, man? Minnesota Wild are pretty fun nowadays.
Yeah, I'll be there. I will be there. Jordan Hall, in quotations, so this is coming from Briere's mouth. I would not be surprised if we saw Alex bump at some point. We already knew that, but it's coming from the GM's mouth. So,
wait, you wouldn't be surprised, or it's going to happen? Like what?
Yeah, like you're the fucking GM, dude.
I don't know. That might happen. I can't close, so I'm going to need to see if Keith does it, but it might happen.
Vince, he's been playing a little bit more lately. I would definitely tune in. Of course, it's at the end of the season when they're basically out of the playoff race.
I haven't watched a whole lot since the break either, but it's actually not because of a boycott reason. Maybe like 30-40% for a boycott reason. What happens is I usually
why are trades still happening
at the start of the game, and then I get home and it's like the first period's done, and I'm like, do I want to watch 2 periods of Flyers hockey? Nah.
Nassim Kadri back to the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, last minute.
Last hour. Fuck, it's 4.
So you're telling me that the Colorado Avalanche can like buy extra time for themselves, but Danny can't even make a trade within the allotted time?
Danny's on TV right now, bro. I'm watching him right now. He's literally on my TV right now in Voorhees.
All right, can we get like a crew of heavy hitters to come in, throw them in a van, and make sure we never see him again? I'm not saying anything too violent has to happen to him in the van. However it happens, and I don't see him again, that's not my business.
Nah, he's going to get it in the van. It's just going to be like Porter Martone highlights playing. Watch this shit. Connect me on the Brink trade. It's tough. He's one of the guys that I got really close with. It kind of feels like the Lawton trade. I love Bob. I was super close with him. Great kid. It's awful when the time comes here that we're going to have. It's awful when the time comes here that when we're going to be having success, he's a guy that you wish you had with us and go through it with him because he's been working his butt off just as much as anyone else has. It's tough. Part of the business. I wish him nothing but the best other than when he plays us. Aw. That was nice. Our captain speaking on the Brink trade. Our real captain speaking on the Brink trade.
Yep.
Travis Konechny.
They couldn't even close on making Danny or making Konechny captain.
Yeah, no. Now we're stuck with Coots. All right. That will do it for episode 125. A nice little hour, 30-minute pod reacting to the crazy, I guess really not that crazy, trade deadline day.
Hey, I made something entertaining out of this trade deadline. The trade deadline itself, boring as hell, but you know what? We managed to spice it up here at TLY.
This show was fucking fun.
If that is an incentive to tune in, I don't know what the hell is, okay? We made the trade deadline entertaining. I don't know what else you want from us. We got so much value, Danny Briere can't find a way to trade us.
The door is still open, Derek. It's still open.
The allegations tapped him out in the 5th round.
Yeah, he's on the floor right now. He's knocked the fuck out. Tip it. Dude, like, he's probably like, Tippett? You actually thought I was going to even consider trading Tippett, the 40 goal scorer? What? And hey, they jettisoned. Yeah, it's the start. All right. Follow us at the Liberty L on X, at Suitable Alias, and go Floors.